fight in the late game, right? This is not a situation where you need to get stuff done early. With the vote about jungle, you definitely have the possibility. Graves' impact in the early game has been somewhat neutered. Of course, his late game is strong as always. Would love a Braum pick up here. That is really, really nice. So much utility, so much abilities that you can block. Both of these comps, Valdez.
You know, we don't usually say we love the Braum, but in this case, it's great. You know, you have fantastic anti-engage, and Ezreal Braum, that classic lane, it's coming back. Ezreal came back first, Braum is following it up. We see it here once again. You look at the side of Damwon, and that is the most comfortable composition I've seen for Damwon in a long time. And we'll see if it works out, as we are going to hop onto the Rift here for game number 2. Life this time on blue. So Canyon is going to be spotted here, but can the Gragas get away is the question. The smoke screen is going to come in. The body slam is not going to get him any range here, as Morgan will flash away, but Canyon is a couple of autos away. There's going to be the flash on in, and Khan does get the first blood, but the follow-up kill will go the way of Arthur, and now Canyon's going for a run through the enemy jungle here, as at least Showmaker has some good prio. That's the only thing really saving Canyon for sure, although Arthur is also making his way down. We might just see him execute himself on the turret, as that will be the play.
He will be able to get away, but teleport.
Oh, the flash on in, and oh man, that's going to be Chovy picking up a huge kill on a Showmaker. Khan was teleporting in trying to save him, but that did not work this time around.
In the form of death, Chovy is finding openings and kills as a possible fight around Rift Herald here.
Canyon is going to get jumped on, and he gets a lot of healing, but that is just way too much out of Chovy and Arthur. Getting behind, of course. Just trying to scale as much as possible with the team fighting death ball comp, as you mentioned. Still going up against the Jinx, and now Beryl is caught. Magnet Storm is going to get down as he tries to ult to survive, and you know what? He actually will. That's a lot of damage now coming out from Canyon, but again, Chovy is there. At least Canyon is going to be able to flash away from that one, but Chovy just seems to be everywhere. Damwon cannot avoid him.
Beautiful play that from Hanwha Life. The setup is really good. Cancel comes through there, and they just need to clear the wave. Those plates are fine. You will be able to trade up a couple of plates in the mid lane, so it's going to be 2 for 2. Not the worst of scenarios, as long as you don't die here. Be respectful. Value. But it's also easy to get over enthusiastic. This Ghost gets away from the turret here.
Arthur is flashing in. The exhaust is going to be used, but there is seemingly no escape, and even Ghost is going to try to flash away. Gets punished. Posturing here in the mid lane. The second Rift Herald available. Chovy going to steal that Braum ultimate. And Damwon are actually considering fighting this one. As, okay, everything is going to miss Beryl at least, so Everfrost now down for about 5 seconds. The cooldown pretty insane, especially on 11-6. And here comes the teleport, but the engage is good from Vista. Beryl in the front line trying to keep everybody alive, but Canyon now going to be isolated, but they can't kill him. They cannot kill Canyon, and Chovy is not doing enough damage. Khan is tanking everything from this Sylas. At this point in time, that's going to be 2 kills going the way of Damwon, and that's why you say you never count this team out.
Because going into this, I'm like, why are they trying to contest? They don't need to. It's just a second Rift Herald. The plates are gone. You don't really care about this. But Damwon Kia sense an opportunity. This extended fight, though.
Ooh, Chovy's thinking about it, but again, Khan is just so tanky that you got to be careful. This is still 3v5, 3v4, I suppose, before Canyon gets here. They're going to get the kill onto the Scion. It actually does end up working out, I suppose, here for Hanwha Life of the Chompers. Can't really blame him. You got a lot of teleport wards here, and one will be utilized as Vista is looking for it. The knockup will be flashed. The Encore gets Ghost here, and he will be immediately blown up as now they're trying to get on top of Beryl. It will not be able to, but that is a nice pick here right before the dragon does spawn.
And normally as Hanwha Life, it's like, is it worth it? Force this much just for a kill? But the Drake is up, and getting a second Drake here, hopefully it will be a Mountain Soul again. Otherwise as Hanwha Life, you're going to feel a little bit less happy about this play.
Yeah.
Regardless though, getting yourself up to 2 Drakes, picking up a Drake that's always useful in the form of the Ocean Drake is... and we see that Hanwha Life's team can very much still win. And there's basically 2 ways. There we go. That's the utility of that Scion ultimate.
You know,
doesn't know.
Showmaker, yeah, and here we go. The cask does come in, and Chovy is already up here on the top side. Everfrost is going to get the slow, and see you later. Chovy is here again, and now he is 4-0 in this game. He's kind of running away with it once again on the Sylas.
Something is Khan finds a flank here.
Flank would be pretty interesting. They're going to find Vista, but that's not exactly the guy you were looking for. Has a lot of damage, though, on a Chovy in the front line, but here comes Arthur trying to create some space. Chovy is going to get dived on by Canyon, but he's got another stopwatch, and there's the encore, and the blow-up from the Graves takes down that Sylas and takes away the shutdown. As Damwon Kia do it again, they find an opportunity, and now they have their eyes set on the Baron.
And the words haven't left my mouth of Damwon Kia find an out-of-nothing team fight to all of a sudden get complete control of the Baron pit. Arthur isn't there. They can't actually contest this.
No, I mean, they can't do anything. Deft is just attacking the mid lane turret. That's all he can do. I mean, and Baron will go the way of Damwon, at least to get the turret, I suppose.
The one angle is if Deft has ultimate, and you go for it, and the uncapped Jinx finds the steal somehow, but now they're going in here?
This is it's not what you're looking for. It almost looks like they're trying to bait, almost trying to give them the benefit of the doubt
Basically
here.
all you can really do as Chovy keeps looking for these angles, but needs to really be respectful.
Yeah, oh man, he is so far up. This is a big problem. Here comes Canyon and Khan trying to get on top of this level 16 Sylas. The flash comes out, but the damage is so huge from Canyon. Wasn't enough though. The Kingslayer, a lot of damage actually coming out now, but it's 4-on-1. This barrel comes up, and he is not able to trade back even a kill. Ghost feels like unintentionally gets hit in the face with a rocket, but now that Chovy is gone, yet again, Damwon will look to make a play onto this Baron. Take a look at Deft. He's trying desperately to do some damage onto the Scion, and Khan is just laughing at him. Just way too tanky at this point in time. Has no rocket available this time either, and Beryl is just zoning everybody away. That's going to be the Baron now in the hands of Damwon for the second time this game.
No vision whatsoever. They will looking towards the
They are, though.
teleporting in.
There's no vision here. Khan is looking to engage by himself, and he is tanky enough to actually just walk at the enemy team and zone them all away. Vista has a really nice angle on the top side, but Beryl and Khan in the front. The damage, though, not enough. That's going to be the smite going in, but now Damwon Kia looking for the fight. Nice knockup from Chovy, but the damage is pretty huge. Vista trying to get the engage on a Showmaker, but he's incredibly safe, and so is Ghost. As Chovy now trying to go 1v4 here, but he is going to be taken out as well. And Khan is still alive after tanking 3 people's worth of damage and death damage for the entire fight.
It's a 30-minute fight against a Jinx with 3 items. How do you get away with that?
All right, let's see this, though. Arthur takes in a huge amount of damage. They're just desperately trying to end it. Someone could attack the Nexus, but they want the kills instead. Did they wait too long is the question. Chovy's up here. That's a really big encore as well, as now they're just going to hit the Nexus, and Damwon will take the game. And it will tell a little bit more of the story. Yes, the Jinx did a lot of damage, but I feel like it was probably like 6k into Scion's whole health bar in that last fight, and then it just didn't end up mattering at all. Nobody died in the last team fight for Damwon, and it's another about 31 minute game. That's all they need. They just win at this time. And
that's the mind-blowing thing, is that this game, in terms of game time and in terms of overall like flow of the gold graph, literally 100% the same as game number 1, where Hanwha Life were playing an early game team composition. They didn't win the early game, and then Damwon Kia kind of afterwards, as expected, slapped them around with their range advantage, but that was not the case here. Right.
We're back after Damwon Kia taking down Hanwha Life Esports once again. A pure dominance coming out from Damwon Kia after falling behind in the early game. Damwon Kia had a very high longevity pick coming out from Damwon Kia. Even though Seraphine was open, Hanwha Life Esports highly prioritized that Jinx pick for Deft. We do understand that decision, because not only because of Deft, but also Ghost showed a high priority on the pick as well in game number 1. So Hanwha Life Esports wanted to take that away from Ghost as well. And looking at the picks coming out from Talmon Kia, Seraphine, Ezreal together with Braum, they are not that strong in lane, but still they have 2 AD carries together with Marksman and Sion Braum front lane, which means they are so stable heading into the later stage. A very much of a flawless comp for teamfight. And we saw the point where Hana Life Esports was actually letting Khan to take away that Sion, and Morgan had some decent game up against Sion on that Gregas pick, but this time around he was facing up against Khan's Sion, Talmon Kia Sion, which is a little bit different than other Sions. And Braum was also doing a fantastic work in this comp. Hana Life Esports had Jinx to poke the damage, but Braum was there to block all the damage, and the rest of the players on the side of Hana Life Esports had to dive onto the opponents, but there were 2 beefy frontline on the side of Talmon Kia. Hana Life Esports was able to have the lane priority based on their champion matchup, but this team fight turned the game around. Rel was in a bit of a rush, but Vista was able to find a fantastic ultimate angle, but the Braum ultimate connects to the 3 enemies, including both of the carries on the side of Hana Life Esports, and Sion gets blocked by Seraphine's EN Encore, so Chovy was not having the best time to take this fight. Well, Jinx was not able to do any damage because there were so many dangerous and risky abilities for her to dodge, which means she could not participate in that fight at all. Talmon Kia cleaned up that kills and picked up the Herald as well. Now let's take a look at the second highlight where Talmon Kia started to take the gold lead in this game. Sion was able to shove in the wave up against Gregas instead on the bottom lane, and he grouped up and rotated up to the mid lane end. Hana Life Esports had the information looking at the pings going down, and Graves also got spotted by Hana Life Esports, and Chovy goes in very aggressively in order to steal away that Ezreal ultimate, but there was a minion wave from the red side, which means Burrow can find an opening to land his abilities onto Showmaker, and Volibear comes in to save Chovy, which means he's also getting caught out, and 2 of the Fed players on the side of Hana Life Esports got caught out, which means it's a free Baron for Talmon Kia. I do understand that action from Silas because he was super fed. He also had Zhonya's stopwatch, so a fed Silas doesn't really die that easily, but Talmon Kia, especially Burrow, was right there in order to immediately punish the overstepping coming out from Chovy. Let's check out the player of the game on the side of Talmon Kia, and it's going to be Burrow on Braum. A fantastic performance and flawless mechanics coming out from these players in both game 1 and 2. He's doing a fantastic work saving his teammates, but at the same time, he always zones out the enemy's carries. In this one team fight, he was single-handedly zoning away Jinx and also Silas. And Braum actually had a confidence that Rel is going to come in. So Braum, actually, if we take a closer look, he ulted faster than Rel. And right here, Burrow punishing a slight mistake coming out from Chovy was also coming in clutch. And that was actually transpired into a very easy Baron for Talmon Kia as well. Talmon Kia took a very hard comp to pull off in the early game. They had losing matchup, they had the weak side in lane, but they managed to find a breakthrough throughout team fights, and they were able to convert that into a huge lead. Burrow picked up 8 votes out of 9 for this POG, and Talmon Kia is having a very landslide victories up against Hana Life Esports all throughout the series. But still, Hana Life Esports are staying strong in the early game, especially during the laning phase. So let's take a look at game number 3 between Hana Life and Talmon Kia.